So I played this little game called Donkey Kong Country, and I had a lot of fun. Now, I've always heard people hail this game as one of the hardest 2D platformers ever, and really, I don't understand it. Yeah, it's not easy, but Lost Levels hard? Nah, I certainly don't get it. Though that being said, it's certainly not easy. I certainly got stuck in some levels and had to persevere through, but overall I'd say it's a pretty simple, fun 2D platformer. I also like the different variety of gameplay types. You have the normal platforming segments, you have minecart sections, you have underwater sections, and parts where you just get to play as animals, which I think are pretty cool. Instead of throwing barrels at some plumber, this time you're out to get your banana horde back from the evil King K. Rool, which is a fun enough setup for a pretty simple 2D platformer game. And this game really doesn't need any sort of serious story like a game like Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger needs. Whereas I looked at Super Metroid last time, which is a pretty non-linear game, Donkey Kong Country is a pretty linear game. I have no problems with that though. You have a nice and easy difficulty curve, and you'll never forget any of the things that happen. I really don't like the way how saving's handled in this game. You have to make it to Candy's save point on the world map, which sometimes is at the very beginning of the world, sometimes is at the very end of the world. It's pretty inconsistent, and it's kind of a hassle to save your game. I think it's really cool how they took a really old arcade game character and made him into something totally different. Now, I know looking at this game today can be a bit jarring to all my friends who play games like Warframe or Breath of the Wild, and that may put them off. But personally, I think the graphics look great, especially for the time. The soundtrack is also pretty amazing. David Wise composed some of the greatest soundtracks on the SNES, and I catch myself humming to every once in a while. Some of my favorites include DK Island Swing, Aquatic Ambience, and the final boss theme, which progressively gets more and more sinister as the battle goes on. From what I've heard online, DKC2 is a far better game, but I'm just the type of person who would want to start with the first game in the series. I'll surely check out Donkey Kong Country 2 when I have time. Is Donkey Kong Country my favorite Super Nintendo game though? It's up there, but I still prefer titles such as Super Mario World, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, and of course, Super Metroid, which is the last game I did a video on if you want to check it out. Not saying that Donkey Kong Country isn't an excellent game, I just prefer some other games to it. I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Just make sure you stay away from the Donkey Kong Country animated series. Some scars, I guess, just never heal. Hey yo, if you like this video, you should totally like it, and if you think others would like it, then you should totally share it. And if you haven't and you want to see more of these, you should press that subscribe button, helps me out, it's pretty good. Next video I'm gonna do on, you guys can argue about in the comments. It's either gonna be it's either gonna be Mario Kart 64 or Mega Man. So yeah, okay, bye.